you see me? All right. Hi guys, I am going to continue this part of the lesson, and I'm going to be using Word software. There's a couple of features that we are going to, excuse me, that we're going to look at in Word software. Okay, I'm going to show you in a moment. Now, basically, I have written two sentences over here, and I have made some intentional mistakes, and I want to show you. So let's just talk about it. Okay? So come on, let's come. Let's go and see this guy. All right. Okay. All right. So here we have a Word document on my computer. Okay. And right over here you can see it says, so Candy and Tom went to the market, full stop. They bought some toys, but I made a mistake. And Tom also bought an ice cream, okay, or bought a ice cream. So that is also a mistake. Tom also wanted to buy a book. Let me move my mouse. Tom also wanted to buy a book, and Candy said no, so Tom got sad. Now you notice over there under so, let me do this nicely if I can. You see there is a blue line under so. You see that over there? You see there's a blue line. And up here there is a red line. Now over here there is also another blue line. Okay, now basically what this means, like whenever you're using Word software, the software is like smart. So the software is trying to, how do I say it? It's trying to help us, okay? It's not perfect, but it's really trying to help us because it understands English. So it's basically saying, hey, listen, I think you made some mistakes. I think you made some mistakes. So for example, if you look at the letter so, it has a blue line. And if you look at, let me do this nicely. So that means if you look at the letter so, it has a blue line. And if you look at T-O-Y-E-S, that's obviously a spelling mistake, it has a red line. So that means the blue line, the computer or the Word software is trying to tell us that maybe you have a small grammar mistake. Maybe. It's not telling us that you definitely have a proper. It's not telling us that that you made a mistake. The blue line means maybe you made a mistake, and the red line means listen, definitely there's some kind of spelling mistake. So please check on it. Now, how do we check? So let's say let's say I wrote this, and my English is not so good. So I'm not so sure what was the mistake because I'm looking at it and I'm saying, I think that is correct, but obviously I see a blue line and I see a red line, so I know the computer is telling me that I might have made some mistake. So how do I find that out? Very easy. All you have to do is on the mouse, go to the Word, and instead of left click, click on the right side, and it's going to open up a window. And in that window on the top, it is going to show you some suggestions that it thinks that is what you need to do. Now, is this perfect? No, it's not. But it's much better than what you and I probably might be doing with the computer. So let's take a look at it, okay? So what I'm going to show you now, I'm using the same camera, right? So what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to show you the blue line and what was the meaning of the blue line, like what mistake the computer is telling me that I did. And the red line, which is obviously a spelling mistake, it should be toys, but I wrote T-O-Y-E-S, it should be T-O-Y-S. And the computer is putting a red line saying to me, like, hey, listen, this is not the correct spelling. So let's take a look at it, okay? So come on. All right, so here we go. Let me adjust my camera a little bit better. Let me see if I can do this properly. One second. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, here you go. All right, so now if you look at so, there is a blue line right there. Okay, let's go a little bit closer. You see, there is a blue line right there. So the blue line basically means maybe I made a mistake. And if you go over here, it has a red line. And the red line, the computer is basically telling me like, hey, listen, this is not the correct spelling of that word. It should be T-O-Y-S, not T-O-Y-E-S, but I wrote E by mistake. So it's showing me a red line. So now let's try this guy and see what that's going to say. Okay, so if I take my mouse over here, and if I click there, left click, but I'm going to click right click and it's going to open up a window. So right click, there's a window, and you can see it opens a window. And if you go all the way to the top of that window, it is going to give us the spelling. You see, that is the correct spelling right there, T-O-Y-S. It has toes, toy, tones, toad. It's basically saying that these are some suggestions. We are not sure what you're trying to say, but we think that this is what you're trying to maybe say. So what do you think? And I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me use my mouse and click toys, because that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to say toys, but I spelled it wrong. So if I click toys, and now you look at it over here, you see the spelling is now corrected. Cool, right? So now let's go to this word, so. And there's another one over here in the beginning of the sentence, but let's take a look at this guy. So the computer is basically saying, hey, listen, let me move it away. See, it's showing me a blue line, right? And now it's saying, hey, listen, we think that there's a small error here, so check it out. So if I click in the center of it, left click, but then I click right click, immediately it's going to open up a window. Boom, there you go. And now if I look at that window and if I go all the way to the top, you see it is giving me the correct spelling. So S-O with a comma. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my mouse. I'm going to click it, and now it is correct. There's no more blue line. Now this same correction, I need to make it over here, because you see there's one problem here and there was a problem here. So if I have to go over here, I have to right click, and there is the spelling correction. And now the sentence seems to be a little bit more correct. So it's like, so Candy and Tom went to the market, they bought some toys, and Tom also bought an ice cream. That is not exactly correct. The computer is not telling me that I made a mistake, but it should be bought ice cream, or bought ice cream, or Tom also bought ice cream. Bought ice cream, and I think it's going to be okay. But there is something else as a problem that the computer is not telling me that I am making a mistake, is Tom, you see, it's a small letter. It's a name of somebody. So Tom should be capital letter. So I need to backspace and put Tom as a big letter. Okay? Tom and, okay, no, this is correct. Oh wait, that's not right. So that also needs to be, because Tom also bought, right? So Tom is the name of a person. So backspace, oh, let me change my hand. Backspace and Shift T becomes a big letter. Okay. Okay guys, so do you see that? So basically now the sentence looks a little bit more correct. So Candy and Tom went to the market, bought some toys. Tom also bought ice cream, full stop. Tom wanted to buy a book, but Candy said no. Oh, I made a mistake. Candy is the name of a girl. So Candy must have a capital C, so I'm going to fix that right now. So thank you for listening to this lesson. I'll see you back in class, and then we will continue in class. Bye-bye. So C is the name of a girl, Candy. Backspace. And now let's put capital C. That looks correct.